friends. It's Tracey and Violet from Tea Time with Tracey and Violet. I can't see. I think my head's partially cut off. That's a little better. A little better. I'm in my dining room right now. I was just having a cup of tea. I just did a Teacup book chat with you guys about a different book, but I still have tea left, so I thought I'll talk about another one of the books that I read last month. Today is January now. I'll drink this and then I'll show her again, and then if I do another couple of books here, I might make another pot of tea, because I'm sorry I haven't got videos out lately. It's just the new year and the holidays, and it's a ruckus is what it is. But the book I'm going to talk to you about now is called Berserk. I have one of those fancy ring lights there, and I'm not used to using them. But Berserk by Lebbon. I've never read anything by him before. I do have another book of his, Stone Creek or something. It was in, I think, one of my book hauls. I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to. Oh, here comes somebody. All right, I turned it down a little bit. I don't know if that helps, but it's late. The kids have gone to bed. That was my 19-year-old, so he's not to bed yet, but it is 10:03. Oh, the furnace is about to kick in. I do have the wood fire going too, because it's bitter. Colder than a witch's titty out there it is, but yeah, Berserk. So let me read the back of it. They kept monsters. That's what Tom overheard in a bar that night, and he heard more things that could finally lead him to the truth about his son's death 10 years before. The army had said it was a training accident, but why had the coffin they sent home been sealed? So on a dark night in a deserted field, Tom begins to unearth a mass grave where he hopes and fears that he will find his son's remains. He finds instead madness, corpses and chains, and dead bodies that still move and grasp and clutch, and one little girl dead and rotting who promises to help Tom find what he's looking for if only he will free her. Yeah. So you can see that creepy child right on there. I read this not too long ago. What's the little girl's name again? Natasha? Is that what it is? Yeah. Anyways, this book is about a middle-aged couple. Well, they're in their 50s. Their one and only child died. He was in the military. This takes place over in like the UK. When I first started reading it, I thought it was like it takes place in America, and then it takes place down south in South America, but it's not. It's in England, or in the UK somewheres. And their only son passed away, apparently, according to the army, with a training accident. But they have been haunted for 10 years and grieving and grieving and grieving. And it's just the two of them. They never had any more kids. And yeah, they're just haunted by not being able to say goodbye to their son and never being able to feel like they totally laid him to rest. I forgot to show you this teacup. I'll try to remember at some point. Anyways, every day after work, Tom stops to this regular old bar, nothing fancy. He's almost like an alcoholic, kind of. Like, he's not a drunkard. He's not falling down drunk, but he fiends for a bit of alcohol every day to try to help with the grieving. He stops to this bar and he overhears these two rough, rugged, and raw guys talking about this exercise that went awry. Some army one. And I forget what the place they had mentioned, but that was the place where his son supposedly had this accident. So, of course, Tom is paying attention, even though he's just eavesdropping. That's what he's doing. He approaches these two guys and asks them about it. And of course, they're like, what do you want? Like, and between the two of them, one of them's like, just leave him, just leave him. Don't say anything about it. Don't say anything. And Tom's haunted. He goes back the next day in hopes of seeing these guys, but one of the guys was there, and he tells Tom about this exercise. Now, he doesn't divulge everything, but it leads him to believe that, to confirm what he always thought he knew, that what happened with his son was not what he was told by the military. So the 10-year anniversary of Tom's son's death, him and his wife like to go to, well, they don't do it every year, but they're doing it this year. It's the 10-year anniversary. I think it's Wiltshire or something like that. It's where the moors and plains are in the UK. Around that area. Go there to not celebrate the 10-year anniversary, but to remember. Only Tom has an alternative, what's the word? I can't think of it. A different motive that he doesn't divulge to his wife. So they go out for supper. I'm trying to fast forward this so it's not like super long. They go to this little remote area, little town, go out for supper, and they go back, and the next day his wife she's tired, she's not feeling good, so he says he's just gonna go for a drive. She's like, yeah, you go. I'm fine, I'm just gonna lay here and rest. So he goes, and he plans to go looking for where this accident site was supposed to happen. So he was given kind of a crude map from that guy from the bar. So he pulls off side of the road. So I've never been to the moors or the plains, but I've seen it in shows and stuff, and it's kind of like there's some forest, but you know, it's, I don't know. But where he stops is a restricted area. Like there's fences and signs to say authorized personnel only. This place is guarded by military people, but that don't stop Tom. No, it does not stop him. He jumps the fence and he whittles here and there and everywheres until he finds where X marks the spot, he thinks. And I'm not divulging anything that isn't said on the back. You heard me read it. He starts digging and digging. He has like one of those little rinky-dink foldable shovels. He must have a flashlight or a lantern, I forget now. But it's cold. It's like October. It's cold. Or cool. It's fall. So it'd be cold mud, wet, stankin'. He's digging down and he comes across a body with dog tags, and he looks and it's not his son. But he's encouraged because he's like, I found a dead body, you know, my son has to be here. I want to get to my son so I can give him a proper burial and finally be done with this horrible grieving I've been doing. And he digs and digs. But this person, the first person he finds, this man is chained to another person, and to another person, and to another person. All these people are chained together. Some of them are complete bodies. I mean, they're rotting, disgusting, festering bodies. Some of them are parts of people. They're not all there. Last but not least, there's this little child-size body. There was a couple other child-size bodies, but I think their heads were removed. But this one, in my mind, she looks like a apple doll, you know, those dried out apple dolls, leathery looking apple dried out dolls. I forget what they're called. But this little girl who's about 10 years old, thin, but she's all leathery looking, stiff, like mummified. But not quite. She ends up grabbing. And he doesn't know whether it's his mind hallucinating, because as he's digging these people out of the ground, he's going a bit crazy. He's thinking, oh, my wife's going to be worried. I need to get back to her, but I can't. I'm so close. I'm so close. I'm so close. I've been lied to all these years. We've been lied to. I need the real answers. This is all that stuff that's gone through his mind and through his mind. Okay, so that's all I'll say about that. The other flip side to this story is what actually happened there. Now, I won't divulge what happened. You would have to read the book if you wanted to. This isn't a new book. It's from 2006. Not that old, but not just around the corner. But those people from the bar were part of an army group that were at this place where they kept monsters. Now, there's one head guy of that army. He wasn't like the head honcho of the military base there that was there at that point. There was nothing there now, but he would go around and hunt any of the soldiers that were left that ever said anything about what happened there. And he gets wind of that guy from the bar. So he goes around hunting and killing anybody that even talks about it. So he gets wind that Tom and his wife, even though the wife didn't have anything to do with it, doesn't know anything about it. No. He doesn't know how much they do know, but he's on the hunt for them because nobody can ever find out. And it goes from there because this creepy little girl has a history, and it's quite fascinating. This book isn't scary. It's not scary like a horror book, as in, it's not scary, and I don't think it's supposed to be scary. It's almost like a monster story. Not quite zombie, not quite vampire, but berserkers, if you know what a berserker is. And she, promises to help Tom find out what happened to her, his son. He's starting to believe maybe his son is still alive, because none of the people that he pulled out of the ground that day were his son. And they were the people that his son used to work with. So his son's not there. Maybe his son is still alive, trapped somewheres. And she promises to help. But why is she chained up? Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. So if you're intrigued, I would recommend it. It's not a bad book. I found it very interesting. It's not like, oh, blow my socks off or anything like that. But it was just a nice change, a pace from what I was reading. And a story like this, I enjoy thoroughly all the way through. It's not like, oh, my favorite book ever. But it's a nice monster. I'll say monster. It's not monster. Nice berserker kind of story. And the ending is like a horror ending. Like, horror books aren't supposed to have happy ending. It's kind of a happy ending, but not quite. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth, but then, okay, well, life goes on. I don't know how to say it. It's not like it's one of those abrupt endings. You get an ending, but it's not like a Disney movie. I'll say that. So, anyways, Berserk by Tim Lebbon. I look forward to reading his other book that I got, because I enjoyed this, and his writing style is very easy to read. Like, it's not complicated. It's not puffed up with a whole bunch of nonsense information. It's straightforward. But it's relevant. It's relevant to the story. So I would recommend it, and so far, so good. And I will let you know when I read the other one. So let me just finish this, and I will show you. I'm doing this video arse backwards, because usually I show you the teacup first. All right, I'll do it quick, because I know you've seen this in my last video, because that video will post before this, but you see how blue those flowers are? I don't think you could see it that well in the Nostra Vita video I did. It was out in the kitchen. Pretty, pretty. And those leaves are like a really pale, pale green, almost gray. Perfect for winter, I found. You see the gold on her elbow. There's no gold on that side, but there's gold on that side of her arm. And there's gold up at the top. And you see down here, like their little rivulets. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, I don't think I said where this teacup was from my last one, but that's her skirt or pedestal, and gold around the edges there too. So yeah, she's a beautiful girl. Oh, I have a piece of tape over this. I bought most of my teacups secondhand, and I think that was over it. Queen Anne bone china, made in England, a product of Ridgeway Enterprise Limited. So yeah, all right guys, well, with that, I'm gonna say peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose, but if not, that's okay too. I still love ya. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every one of you out there. I certainly do. I really, really honest and truly do. Yes, I do. So, all right, guys, with that, I'm going to say have a good night or have a good morning, and I might see you tomorrow. Bye.